Yeah, I think the big thing here is looking, as you said, at the AD carry position. Maybe even at that mid lane as well with the Ahri up and available. You could always try and take that for Creme, but especially with the Silas ban gone, it feels like the Ahri starts to get a lot more valuable, especially for a team like LGD, where High Chow can try and push in, because Creme likes to respond with the Silas, but it is going to be the Zeri taken away for Abel, so at least Abel going to get his hands again on that big power pick.
I have to say, Dagda, I'm just going to move the conversation on slightly while we wait for these next couple of picks. Like, what is with the Fiora bans? I feel like I've seen so many Fiora bans. Like, it must be a scrim monster pick, because I've seen a couple of Fiora games, but not that many in the LPL, and it's not been crazy or anything. But there are tons of teams that just ban Fiora every single game, like Fearness. Fearness not exactly a player that's known for being the best Fiora in the LPL or anything like that, you know, like... It just seems like such a strange prevalence. I want to see it make it through drafts more, so I can actually see what all the hype is about.
Yeah, so I think look, we're gonna get the Corki long-range poke for LGD, good engage tools. So I'm gonna just like talk about Fiora for a quick sec. The reason we're seeing Fiora a lot is because of the change to the durability. It's actually really hard to bully her out of lane, and she also does a lot better in team fights too. And Grievous Wounds as well was nerfed in this patch. And when so much of Fiora revolves around her getting healing and getting a ton of survivability into her kit, she can do really well in side lanes, but it also means that it's hit her team fight actually quite well, because she's able to survive much easier. And a lot of the compositions that we see her with are super short range, so if she can proc those vitals, which she's more likely to do because she's tankier, well then that actually provides a ton of healing for the rest of the team. So it's not just about the Fiora, it's actually about the utility that ult can bring. But OMG are going to go back towards the cat in the hat for Zeri, making sure that she's going to be very fashionable in this draft. And I think it actually works out super well for them. Yuumi, we've seen a lot in other regions. I think it's something that we'll probably start to see a little bit more in the LPL as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm curious. There's Gwen being banned away. But the Zeri Yuumi can be scary. Certainly a lot of dive once again from OMG, and you can anticipate that they will continue to build that up. Excuse me. The Shyvana banned away. The Kale taken off the board as well. So Shanji has to decide what he wants to go for. But they can go for a top lane counter pick here and just lock in a safe mid lane blind.
Yeah, I mean, generally we get the Azir. We usually get the Victor. But maybe, just maybe, Creme doesn't want us to be bored out of our brains again as we wait for the late game fights.
Let's see that.
True, but I do like the Ahri. I think the Ahri can do pretty well. Good push, ability to play around side lanes. And for OMG, they actually have a composition that can spike really well off of these two items. So I'm hoping we'll get a little bit more action again from OMG, because definitely you can kind of see they were more comfortable taking the mid game in their stride rather than LGD, who are hyper-focused in the late game and hyper-focused again in the late game. This time with both the Corki, the Jinx, Ornn now locked in as well. I mean, I honestly think you go for the Renata here or something along those lines, and just try and get like the disengage set up so you got even more CC if you need to, but also just the ability to keep people alive if Abel's able to find some aggression in towards, or sorry, Creme is able to find some aggression on this area into the back line, even if Aki dives onto someone, like just keeping those targets isolated. But it is instead going to be just even more engage.
I don't know what happened.
Oh!
In LGD scrims.
Oh!
Ooh. Okay. Shyvana top. I'm in. I'm down. I'm keen. Let's see how this goes. I mean, clearly, Shanji, we talk about his creativity. Obviously, that comes from TFT. Like, this guy's a TFT player. He's been smashing the Rage Wings, and now he's bringing it to the Rift.
Yeah, so on 12-10, Shyvana did get, like, slight buffs, where she gets 25 bonus attack range on her Q. So, I mean, it does help out a little bit. And Shyvana, when you think, like, right the way back when we had these, this kind of, like, trifecta of who could actually be good in the Mundo, Trundle, Shyvana, like, style, she did relatively well against people where she just kind of sit there and, like, chomp away at them, because she got a lot of value out of, like, Blade of the Rune King and these kind of things. So, I'm kind of curious to see what the build is going to be from Shanji on this top side. But again, Shanji's always been someone to bring out some of these more unusual playstyles, as we talked about the River Shen earlier on. Like, we'll have to see if we get some funkiness coming out from him.
Yeah, he loves to change things up. I'm curious what kind of Shyvana this is going to be, because like you say, the Q from Shyvana gives you 2 on-hit procs, so things like Blade of the Rune King really good. But also, when you think of Shyvana for like the last 2 years, it's always AP jungle Shyvana, right? Where you just shoot one E and one-shot someone. Could maybe be an option in the top side. Like, there's a lot of AD damage coming out from the Viego and from the Zeri, so could be an AP top Shyvana. I don't know. We'll have to find out. Has time to scale up, though, against the Ornn.
I'm just having a quick look here, and there are some people experimenting with top lane Ghosts, which is what we're seeing from Shanji, Frostfire, Gauntlet, Warmog's Shyvana. So maybe that's what we're going to see, where she just dives into the backline and then is able to do a ton of AoE slows and damage as well. But we'll have to see exactly what this is going to look like, because as well, her tick damage on her burnout was buffed, but maybe this is just enough to push her back in towards the meta, because there are some pros, especially in LCK, experimenting with it in solo queue, but it's not something that we're seeing consistently from the pick.
Yeah, bit of scrim dark tech coming out from Shanji. I'm excited for it. And hey, if we get tank Shyvana back in the meta, I mean, tank tops are working. Sejuani top, like a week ago, everyone was like, wait, what? Sejuani in the top lane? That's crazy. And now we're all like, oh yeah, Sejuani top, that's meta. So I wouldn't be, I'm not mind blown to see something like this come out too, because when you think historically, like years ago, Shyvana was a tank. Shyvana was like her top lane tank, a jungle tank. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Last time this was played in the LPL was Looper, of all people. 2015. That is insane.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long time since, Looper was talked about in the LPL. Yeah. So fascinating to see that it was him who last played in the top side, and also the fact that how long ago it was. But we'll have to see how Shanji's going to fare in this pick. But at the moment, I don't know if we're going to get a lot of pressure up towards this top side. You are against the Ornn. Maybe you want to try and snowball this Shyvana to a certain extent. Hi, Chow.
Oh, Aki's found Hi Chow, but Aki flashed aggressively to make that play, so can't match the flash over the wall. Hi Chow survives, but that's a tough one for the LGD mid laner here, because now Creme with flash and ignite available. If he can get a flash charm onto the flashless Hi Chow, that's a killing lane.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that
as well.
Is where Creme is going to put, where Aki's going to put more of his aggression. Even the fact that we're getting the invade on the opposite side from Aki as well, where he's just like, okay, cool, if I can actually split the map, I can try and play up towards the Shyvana, try and make sure that the Abel and Cold should be fine on the spot side. So if I can support mid and top, then that's going to be the most important part.
Aki continuing with this invade. He's already got the Gromp, I believe. We'll grab the blue buff. Maybe we'll look towards Wolves, although that's where it gets dicey, right? Because Shadow will be pathing up towards him here. So Aki will commit to this one. I don't know if Shadow knows where Aki is, whether he's aware of the situation. He's pinging on the way towards the blue buff. Actually, no, it's Fearness.
Look at Fearness
towards the blue buff. I think they smell a rat here.
Yeah, they will spot out Aki there, but the damage has already been done. Hi Chow's here. Oh, Aki has no flash.
Yeah, exactly. Aki might just be caught here. The stun... Oh, wait, no stun. Shadow just getting a slowdown here. This Fearness flashes forward to get some damage on out. They will punish Aki. And crucially, Shadow getting that kill. So that'll make up for some of the lost CS from the invade.
Yeah, and the fact that you now have Aki put into the dumpster means that it buys some time for Hi Chow to get this flash back up, but 3 flashes gone now for LGD in this top side. And I'm really curious to see if OMG can try and make something happen up here, because I'm trying to piece together the puzzles of this Shyvana, and it feels like with the tick damage on her W, you should be relatively good to push the wave. Your Q should give you good damage on towards turrets as well, and I mean, you're starting to see it there, right? Like, the ability to just chase down some of these tank top laners, so honestly, I think maybe getting some early pressure towards Shanji in this top side, allowing to look at taking this turret nice and quick, could work out well for OMG, but just going to get the replay here in this top side is, not sure what happened here. Oh. We're just getting
crashing the wave so we can move on over. Yeah, we already talked about this. We saw it on the minimap.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Aki getting chased down.
Yeah, I thought there was some major thing that had happened at the top side, which is why we were looking at the wave being pushed in. But yeah, that's okay. Nice kill from LGD. Nice response for the jungle invade. And Aki, unfortunately, just sticking around that bit too long and getting punished for it. Now LGD trying to make sure that they can completely ward up their jungle, so there isn't any sort of the enemy jungle, to make sure that they're able to steal as much away from Aki and punish him as he has started up his wolves.
Yeah, Shadow going to grab the Grom. Aki on a ward right now. Well, he'll be slightly out of vision, but they know where he is. Look at this, waiting in the brush. JinJiao and Shadow want to find themselves a pick. Aki moves in Zenith Blade. The stun comes down from the Shield of Daybreak. And it's going to be Nightbreak here for Aki as his screen turns grey once more. 0 and 2, and regretting that earlier invade.
And now you can turn over towards the dragon as well. Shadow going to be totally fine. Abel does have push on bot side. Oh, hang on, Shanji.
Oh my god. Shanji has used the ghost and just chases Fearness down. The flash was used in the earlier play in mid lane, and Shanji takes advantage.
And this is what we're saying. Shyvana is super good at chasing people down. A ton of damage off her Q as well. And the fact that she doesn't have to worry too much about like mana or anything like that. You can see the early boots of lucidity means her cooldowns are going to be coming up a lot quicker. But Creme now spots the dragon's going down.
More than spotted out. He wanted to go for Shadow, but nearly went a little too far there. JinJiao could have easily aggressed onto him. And now Fearness could be in trouble on this top side. Shanji desperately trying to keep his team in this game, right? It feels like the rest of the map is starting to fall behind. With the dragon going the way of LGD with the kills onto Aki. But in the meantime, Shanji putting a lot of pressure onto Fearness, grabbing that solo kill. And with Aki up on the top side currently, he can do what he wants.
Yeah, I mean, you see it here. TP's in. Fearness is low. I'm assuming Fearness uses his dash forward at some stage. Okay, yeah, just dashes away and then tries to aggress onto the wave again. And Shanji's like, I'm having none of that. You have no way of escaping away from this with your Eon cooldown and both the flash.
I don't know what he expected there. I really don't. Like, Shanji didn't even do anything special. He was just like, oh, you're on 300 HP and walking close to me. Okay, sure, I'll take a kill. Thanks, mate. And one thing to mention as well, I don't know if, like, Shyvana's not really been meta for quite a long time. In case people don't know, the way Shyvana's W works as well, the big, like, spinning AoE around her, gives her a ton of movement speed, but every time you auto-attack, it extends the duration of that ability as well. So if he can stay in melee range, he can just stick on you forever.
Yeah, and it means that Shanji got to try and go for that same play again here.
Oh no, Fearness in big old trouble on the top side, or not, as he's actually going to trade pretty evenly, honestly. I'm amazed how well that went to Shadow. Now trying to go for an invade himself. The flame choppers come down. Abel flashes over the wall. Creme's there as well, but Creme getting low on HP. Assum trying to get the damage out, but he just can't return it in time. And now Abel and Creme over the wall, keeping everyone at bay. OMG with a really positive play.
Yeah, LGD are trying to play around this bot side, play away from Shanji, but they just aren't able to get anything to happen. And again, just a nice response from OMG, with Creme getting a kill there and getting that reset off of Abel means that he's able to dash over the wall as well. So nicely done by OMG to just keep the pressure up. And see on the replay here, Shadow caught out by the nice vision. Abel easily able to hop over the wall. Creme has presence in mid lane to start moving down. And this reset coming through into JinJiao is the reason Creme's able to escape. Haichao flashing forward to try and finish off Creme, but the reset coming through in the ultimate means he can hop over the wall.
Shadow gonna grab himself his blue buff and then start this Herald off. 8:30 on the clock right now.
Oh, he's not level 6
begun
though.
By Shadow. He is not level 6. Aki is, and has ult available.
Yeah, you should be level 6 here as the jungler, but because everything's been so messy, Shadow hasn't hit it. So not having that ultimate is a pretty big deal, but it looks like OMG just not able to reset their bot lane in time, so LGD are able to get this, but this was a bit of a risky call here, I will say, from Shadow.
Yeah, but he gets away with it with the rest of his team there. And, you know, Aki wards over the wall, sees that there's 5 players from LGD on the Herald. He's like, oh my god, not going for that one. Backs away instead. So, fair enough. There's Creme now in a bit of trouble. No Spirit Rush in the mid lane, no flash for him either. But no engage from LGD as they immediately turn tail and flee. But the final jab to lock Shadow in place, and he gets finished off by Cold of all people. Cold! I don't know how he's getting so many kills in this series. He got a double on the Brawl, getting a kill on the Yuumi as well. And in the meantime, Abel's just taking plates.
I mean, these top laners are the most active top laners I've ever seen in a game. Fearness roams down, helps to get the kill onto Aki. Shanji roaming down now to get the return kill onto Shadow. And OMG, they're taking over this game. I mean, they're completely decimating the bot side jungle here. They get the kills and plates in mid. Abel's getting stuff on bot side. You've got the plate going on top. Like, every single lane is going well for OMG. And again, LGD opting into this hyper late game scaling, not finding that bridge they need to get to the late game.
Yeah, not for the time being at very least. And we'll see if they can find more from the side of LGD. But honestly, based on last game, I'm not confident that it's going to happen, Dagda. Like, we saw them not really do much in the early game last time around. Like, at least they got a Drake this time. They weren't able to get a Drake last time. They at least punished Aki for being too aggressive. But ultimately, when it comes to these macro trades, it's OMG that's winning out. We have to remember, like, last week, OMG took a game against JDG in their series. They then went on to beat LGD. Not LGD, sorry, LNG. Now up against LGD, actually looking relatively decent. Like, actually looking like a pretty comfortable favorite from this point on.
Yeah, I mean, you've got great opportunities here to just kind of keep the ball rolling here as OMG. Shanji having a great time on this top side. And if he can ever get alone time with this turret, I feel like with the cube giving you that double damage, should be able to take that tower relatively quickly for like the tanks. You have good control in team fights as well, because Creme going to be able to dive on the back line, able to get push in mid. The only thing you have to be worried about is Haichao does have the package available for this dragon, but it's already gone.
Shadow can't get the smite down and goes down for his trouble as well. Haichao and Creme 1v1ing, and Haichao ain't winning, let me tell you that. Abel now chasing down. Ultra Shock Laser on cooldown for now, but Shanji is going to be happy to go for the dive on this one. Assum alone under the tower as JinJiao falls. Shanji's taken one too many tower shots, but I don't know if that was the fight that he wanted to take, Haichao. Hey, at least he got one kill for himself, but yeah. 1v5, not the play.
Icarus Chow in that one just dives in towards the bot side, but flew too close to the stun. Ends up going down. Does get a kill, but goes down for his troubles. And now OMG getting a lot of time on this bot side with the turret. Means they should get the tower there. Shadow. I don't know if he gets the kill.
Cream.
Oh,
this
that's
is not pretty.
Everfrost.
Shadow is not having a fun time. Yeah, the Everfrost great. Creme gets over the wall, flashes out to safety.
Oh,
the rocket is going to go wide. Okay. Well, that's a bit of a disaster for LGD, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the series kind of has been so far. They haven't been able to get anything going for themselves at the early point. OMG are just playing around the objectives that little bit better. I will say Shadow did get a Dragon and a Rift out for himself this game, but I mean, just the way OMG have been playing the map has been so much stronger. You see there, Shadow tries to go for the steal, but once he goes in, there's no getting back out.
The rest of the team a little too close to the plate than they really needed to be, as Shanji just goes under the tower and finishes that one off easy. The slow is nice, and it does mean Shanji goes down. Haichao, I mean...
Respect the effort, man, but I don't know if that was the best call.
He traded kill for kill. I don't know. I think he probably got a bounty, because Shanji was 202, right? So maybe he got a bounty. Maybe it was...
I mean, there is a... I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if he did, but Haichao just able to hop over the wall.
Yeah,
should be fine.
He's fine on that one. Bit aggressive from OMG, but hey, in the meantime, Abel's just having a tower. This is going to be more plates going the way of OMG. The gold lead is 5,000 right now, which is just mental at 13 minutes. LGD at least will take this tower in the top side, so Assum getting that gold funneled into him, and this is the way that LGD have won their series against TT. The way they won was just funneling plates onto Assum. So you see his Kraken Slayer's already finished, and now he gets the tower for himself. Certainly will help stabilize things for LGD, but they need a lot more stabilization than just that.
That's the thing. You look across at the other side, and the scales aren't exactly stable. Like, the fact you have the Immortal Shield Bow already done with the Zeal as well, and you're looking at mid lane, you've got the Everfrost, even the 8 stacks on that Dark Seal as well. Like, they are looking so good on OMG side. Shanji, I love this, taking the rep buff as well, so then he's got even more chase down potential. Like, this is kind of disgusting from OMG. I really like what we're seeing, though. Like, the fact we're getting this much proactivity and kind of a better understanding of how to play the map from OMG looks good.
And not just proactivity, right? Creativity, too. Bringing a Shyvana top to the LPL. And making it look damn good. Making it look like I think other teams should be playing this. This ain't just some random cheese pick. This Shyvana top looks terrifying to deal with, especially if you're trying to blind pick Ornn, which we see all the time. So definitely a pick to keep your eyes out for. Everyone at home is now, and Engage comes out from JinJiao. He has a stopwatch to keep himself safe for now. There's a Charm lands. But it's just on Shadow's Glen. Shanji doing so much threat in the backline, though. Fearness trying to match it, and he just can't. Oh, Shanji gets a cheeky little bit of fire onto the backline. As the tower, 1 HP. Somebody hit that tower. Save Shanji's life, guys. OMG taking over this game. They have such a lead, and they know it. Double for Shanji as they look for more. Flashing onto Haichao, but he flashes out to safety.
I mean, OMG are playing with LGD in this one. Even managing to get the nice little stun there. Creme might take some damage, but Terror down in the mid. 2 towers gone. Rift Tower is up and available. It looks like it's been started up by Shanji as well. You've got Dragon in 40 seconds, so they should get Rift and be able to back for that as well. But this is just super nice play from OMG. Like, LGD went way too deep on this. They thought with the great knockup from Fearness to be able to make stuff happen, but again, Fearness does kill Cold, but Shanji's just there destroying the enemy backline. And Shanji has so much more backline threat than Fearness does on the opposite side.
Did you see Cold in that fight? Did you see what happened? Cold is on Yuumi, right? And Yumi's the first one to die in the fight. That's how you know Cold messed up. So Cold was on Shanji's shoulder, and as Fearness was doing the second proc of the Ornn, Cold jumped off of Shanji's shoulder, was immediately knocked up, so then he can't jump on anyone for like 5 seconds or whatever. And then Fearness just Ornn combos him. That couldn't have gone any worse for Cold if he tried.
Hey, look, Cold, he's an Alistair player, he's a Braum player, he's a Nautilus player. He's just not a great cat, you know? Cats don't like Cold.
Yeah.
But
look,
OMG,
I'm not trying to blame him. These things happen. He just made a mistake. Yeah. It's just so funny that, like, in a game that is going so one-sided for OMG, in a fight that was going so one-sided for OMG, Cold's like, this is my opportunity to get off of the Shyvana's shoulders, and just gets wrecked.
I don't think it's going to matter too much for OMG at this stage. Like, second Dragon there. The Rift Herald is in Aki's pocket as well. It's like, where do you even need to try and put that pressure? Because you've got 2 towers in the mid lane already. Bot tier 2 is the only one that's standing. And you have Creme in this top side as well, who's going to start shoving in. Even able, keeping Shadow out of river so they can't try and find any flank onto the Ahri in the top side.
Yeah, looks like both teams kind of grouping up here, though. Both top laners have TP available as well. Baron coming up, not for another 2 minutes yet, as JinJiao flashes over the wall, but Creme is going to follow with an ignite, and Abel finishes the kill. It's a good pick for OMG, as they look for more as well. Shadow the next target. Creme looks for the charm. Shadow flashes. And it's another pick for OMG. More control for OMG. They can even rotate up top if they want, and Haichao's looking awfully lonely up there.
I think they're just going to use this Rift Out to crack open the base instead. You know you've got the numbers advantage now, although Abel is moving down towards the spot side.
Okay, they're just going to dive the Ornn instead. Shanji happy to tank this tower, especially when there's a Yuumi nearby. And Cole has learned from prior mistakes. He's staying on the shoulders this time around. Shadow looking for more in the backline. Gets knockups across the whole team. OMG have they gone too deep on this one. Shanji runs back out from the tower. Herald onto the tower as well, but it won't finish it off. It's actually a 1-for-1 in the end.
Yeah, messy from OMG. They tried to go for the play on bot side, get the kill as well, but instead, LGD get a chance to reset and come out. That's why I was saying maybe they needed to just go for that mid lane tower with the Rift Herald instead, but trying to take that bit too much, and LGD get a good response.
Certainly do. LGD finding themselves at least 1 kill here. Let's take another look at this. I was amazed that Shanji just goes straight in right at the start, just dives into the tower happily. He's invincible. It's
the package pickup here from Haichao that makes the difference. Like, great charm from Creme and thinks he'll get the Everfrost to set up for the kill on Haichao, but because the invulnerability during the package means that Haichao is able to get away from everything, and just the charge on the Rift Herald means the tower stays healthy for too long for people to just focus tower down and then turn into the fight. So OMG going that bit too deep. But again, you're 4-1-3 on towards Shanji in the top side. 4-0-7 for Abel on this Zeri. The second time he's looked really clean on this Zeri. And OMG still in the driver's seat.
And just look at the items as well for Shanji, right? The Frostfire into a Randuin's. He's got a Bramble Vest as well on top just to be a bit of a nuisance, reducing that healing as well. Whereas Creme, I'm just going to say it, 2-stack match. A little unfortunate for him in the mid lane, but it happens. They went too deep on the play, and he's punished by losing his stacks. But now to the top side as OMG complete control of the map. Baron now spawning onto the map as well. So OMG, if they really wanted, maybe retreat to that as an objective. LGD going to be able to defend for now, though. Shadow and JinJiao trying to threaten off to the side, but I don't think OMG are falling for it for now.
Oh, JinJiao gets charmed, though. Might be just enough, but no. They're just going to keep landing this poke. Fearness is off on the side, though. And I don't know if OMG are aware. Shyvana kind of realizing in the mid lane that there's no counterpart here, so OMG will back away as Shanji pushes in mid.
Yeah, Shanji just getting that pressure down in the mid lane. We'll see where OMG are going to go next, because they're still a way away from the soul. The Drake coming up in a minute. Doesn't feel that important to me. Reset denied by of Creme. Against Creme, with Creme. Delicious cream. Strawberries and cream. Wimbledon's coming up soon.
Always have dessert with Creme. But I will say, it makes no difference that the back was cancelled. Like, Creme's still going to reset. Still going to be there before Dragon comes up in 50 seconds. And, like, you're not trying to threaten Baron at any point in time here for LGD. So, it's kind of a nothing thing. I mean, Assum's ult will be back up in time. I think it was more maybe they could try and look for the pick, but it just ain't going to happen.
Yeah, not for the time being. Not for the time being. And, you know, an attempt. There was an attempt made. We'll take that as a positive for LGD. And I have to say, Dagda, I'm just sad because LGD in the last series against TT, they looked so good. They looked like they had their stuff together. They looked like they knew how to play with priority from mid lane, be aggressive. It's not happening, though. And OMG are the ones that are leading the charge this time around. Ahri looking for the final traps on Shadow, but one prop away as Shanji just dives over the wall. Shanji is not afraid of the enemy team. Well, maybe he should have been, because he's dead now. And Colt onto his paws. Doesn't get to jump on any shoulders. Fearness hammers him down. And OMG, what have you done?
I cannot believe I just saw that. OMG, that was such a disaster. Creep.
Oh no, they're still going. They're still going for this one as Ahri trying to aggress. I don't know about you, Dagda. My feet is struggling right now.
Okay. Mine is all good. Maybe you just need to have a quick reset. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's probably for the best because I don't know if you want to watch this replay anyway. Because oh my days, Shanji flying in over the wall with 4 members of LGD already there. No one on OMG to back him up. And the thing was, you're over-committing to this so hard on OMG. You got the TP that's late to the fight coming in onto that pink word that's just on your screen. You have the fact that Ahri couldn't actually get the lineup properly to get the last chapter to work on towards Shadow. Like, there was so many things that had already gone awry. I think you just cut your losses, but instead they give a bit of gold back over into the hands of LGD. The good news for for OMG is that they did stop the Baron from coming through with Creme kind of playing that aggressive style, but you can see not exactly the best, and Code again getting caught out on his lonesome. OMG, you still need to finish out this game. This isn't, you know, just a done deal yet.
Not just yet, not for the time being. And OMG kind of learning that in the last play, right? Like, going so deep, trying to make the play happen, and, you know. Shanji, perhaps a little overzealous. He obviously thought that Cold would be able to jump on his shoulder, like, and would be able to sustain him through that, but there was really no follow from the rest of the team. Nobody could go as deep as Shanji did. So LGD find themselves a small reprieve. Still 4,000 gold down. The next Drake up in 4 minutes time. That'd be sold for OMG. We saw Ahri grabbing that previous Drake just after the replay there. And OMG, you know, at least they bought some space for the scaling, right? We talked about the Jinx, talked about the Corki. A couple of items each at this point. Perhaps there's a small chance that LGD can keep themselves alive in this one.
Well, that's the thing. You've got Haichao, who's starting to get to a point where he's strong. Rapid Fire Cannon nearly complete alongside the Lord Dominic's Regard for Assum just there, actually finishing the Rapid Fire. Like, you actually have the late game scaling coming online for LGD, and because OMG have kind of just been sitting around, not really pushing forward, like, they're not having Shanji push as heavily in side lanes anymore. They're not getting the deep vision that they want to. They're not finding Creme, like, pushing in the side lane, then looking to try and look for picks in the enemy jungle. Like, this is actually starting to get to a point where LGD will hurt if Haichao can complete 1 or 2 more items, but I will say Haichao definitely struggling or lacking a little bit when it comes towards how much gold he has and the items that he has at the moment.
Yeah, Shanji's looked at that last situation and said, wait a second, I took damage there. That's not meant to happen. Picks up a Negatron clicks. I only had armor before. So opting into a bit of MR as well. Probably a Force of Nature coming up. Or actually, you could even go for the... I'm kind of disappointed he's not going Spirit Visage, right? That doesn't build out a Negatron poke, but it would increase the healing that Cold's able to do to it.
Yeah, I think the Force of Nature is just so busted. Like, the fact that you just negate 25% of the damage off rip is absolutely insane. And especially when you're only kind of worried about the poke damage from Haichao or like that kind of stuff. I think the healing is still going to be relatively good and coming through from Cold. And I think the thing is, in a lot of situations, feel like Cold is going to be connected to Aki or to Abel. So I don't think you're actually going to see Shanji with Cold on him a lot. And if OMG are playing
this is a dicey Baron coming out from OMG. They're just going to try and brute force things here. They force the TP out and they back away. Okay, that's good. Good respect out from OMG. They force the TP.
But then they TP.
Yeah, Shanji just TP to the mid lane to protect this tier 1 tower. I don't think OMG are quite understanding the point of forcing the TP out from the enemy top lane.
Yeah, the whole point with that was to like force the TP from Fearness so Shanji can play sides and you can draw people around the map. By Shanji then TPing to the mid lane, you've completely lost all the pressure that you just got. So now OMG going to try and see what they can do here. With Dragon in a minute though, potential soul. Maybe they can get something. I think the ult there from Assum kind of showing how dark the Baron area is for LGD right now. But OMG going to start moving their attention to the bottom side.
We'll start to look down there as it's a minute until the Drake comes up. And this will be Soul once again for the side of OMG. LGD, they're on a timer, Dagda.
Aren't you just delighted that this is the game that we get after your party weekend?
Oh, yeah.
This is the series.
Absolutely. This is actually why I went to Berlin for a weekend. It was so that this cast would be a challenge. I wanted to challenge myself. Grow as a person, you know, it's one of those. OMG grouping up in the river. Dagda, talk to me about win conditions. How does LGD win this fight?
I mean, they need to try and get the poke down with Haichao and with Assum. Use the fact you have the range, but Creme is making sure that they can try and start this off nice and quick.
Oh, big laser across the team here. Shadow's already in the pit. LGD with control right now, and it feels like OMG not really sure how to proceed in this game. It's felt like that for the last couple of minutes now, ever since they dived too deep with Shanji. Another laser. There's a charm going forward onto the front line. In the meantime, the Drake is going down. Fearness is trying to buy time for the rest of his team. He will fall, and the Drake is taken. Now OMG have to try and chase players down. They need to find something more. Creme aggressed upon, though, by Shadow over the wall, and Creme just about survives. Dodges the rocket. Aki can't get onto Assum. Abel trying to chase along with the rest of his team. Shadow going into enemy territory here. Assum flashes over the wall and now being chased down by Aki.
Oh no, Aki!
Aki fluffs the flash. Still got the stun somehow over the wall there. With a red smite, should be able to protect himself. No, he can't. Assum actually gets a kill. It's a complete disaster from Aki. And now Shanji at least answers one. Will back away. I think he could have 2v1 that, to be honest. I think he could have kept going. They'll back away. Abel, in the meantime, has found Shadow, who, you know, he got to the wrong side of the play.
What is this game, Bunch? What is happening? OMG all over the place in the fight. LGD trying to respond by going for the re-engage when they got the dragon. They just needed to run. And now OMG, they're going to push in mid. They're going to move over towards the Baron. And I swear to God, if Haichao steals this with a rocket, I'm alt F4. I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah, let's see. I haven't seen a Jinx rocket steal in quite some time. Haichao with the big ones as well. As you say, the Corki rocket could come on through. Assum, he launches it from the base instantly. It's flying to the pit, but it's going to be too early. Now the fight ensuing as Shanji's just going to chase Haichao down. What can Haichao do? Look at him. He's getting chopped down. That's the flash. That E almost landed from Shanji as well. But the Baron gives the way of OMG. And you know what, Dagda? It ain't clean. It's a very messy game from OMG. But it's looking like it's enough.
Hey, look, sometimes you just need a big old brawl. And that's what OMG opted in for here. Dragon goes down, but this is where LGD, like, they're out. They don't need to try and go for the re-engage. Creme hops over the wall and Shadow's like, oh, maybe we can try and execute the Ahri, but it ends up drawing LGD into the worst possible spots because now Assum's out of position. He has nowhere to really hide. Shadow tries to chase on towards the Ahri, but he gets caught out now by Abel. So it all just ends up very, very messy here for LGD, whereas they could have just ran away and used that time that they got from the Dragon to just buy time for the items to come through on their AD, on their mid laner. But instead, now OMG have the Baron, they've got the push, and they should be able to keep control over this objective because with Baron timing out for 2 minutes and the Soul then in 2.5, it means that OMG can keep control of this map and the tempo and look for the actual objective.
They should be able to at least, but they've had control of the full game, Dagda. We've seen them with control, and then they dive to tier 2 2v5. So I'm a little nervous about the control that OMG have, and right now Abel's starting to get flanked, but Aki moves over and protects him from the jungle, so he'll be okay. You can see pressure in all 3 lanes here using this Baron. Shadow wants to try and find an opportunity, but if he moves away from that top side, you know that Fearness will lose that tower to Shanji, who, though Shanji played very respectfully, he knows that Shadow is missing right now, but OMG will be up to pressure. Like we said, all 3 lanes, and it means that they can get the point.
Alright, well, Shanji feeling a little bit of hurt from Fearness here. Shanji is going to back away though, knowing that they haven't spotted Shadow for a little bit of time. So he's pretty happy with how things have gone. Does have the TP back up to come into this if he wants to. But, I mean, you've only got 2 waves more that you've really got this Baron buff up and available for. So you see there, TP using the top side to try and get as much pressure down while you still have this Baron buff available for OMG.
Yeah, he was trying to finish the tower. I was wondering how on earth Fearness would have fight against him. Shanji now going on to Fearness once more. The rest of his team is here, so the tower will fall. No more tier 2s remaining, but Super's already starting to push. You can see them just getting towards the halfway mark now. LGD are running out of time to make a defensive play here. And they're running out of towers as well at this rate. As another inhib tower falls, but OMG decide it's time to back away. 20 seconds on that Baron. And that means that they're going to leave it out. 40 seconds until the Drake. They need to get resets out.
Shanji opted in for the Demonic Embrace as well. So he's got a little bit of damage now coming through on the burn, on the E, even the little bit of damage coming through on the W as well. So we have to see if that's going to make a big factor in this fight now. Because we know with 30 seconds until this Dragon, both squads going to be setting up again. But LGD control River at the moment with a bit of a late reset coming through from OMG.
Shanji gonna try and walk forward.
Wait, you don't have high chow. You don't have high chow.
Check this one on through, but here comes Abel over the wall and just one-shots LGD. Like you said, high chow not even in the fight, but I think he's gonna be happy about that fact because he would have just died to a laser as well. OMG slowly but surely cutting through Fearness like a knife through very, very cold butter that's a bit too hard. You can't quite, but you get through in the end.
Why did JinJiao engage? Haichao was resetting to get the package, and I mean, Haichao, I respect it. Trying to clear the wave, trying to see if you can hold on to the game, but your team has already kind of lost themselves into the madness that this game has become.
Yep, this is going to be the end of this game, and the end of the series as well. I'm going to be totally honest.
Thankfully.
I'm okay with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, take a win, but it was not a clean one. And LGD, a disappointing performance after their series against TT.
Yeah, when it looks so good against TT, to see LGD now struggle is a bit sad, but honestly, I don't know what that game was. That game was an absolute mess. Like, OMG, it actually looked really good. And we started to compliment them, say, you know, the early game, it was working for them. You know, getting roams off, Shanji playing towards mid, Creme playing around the map, linking up with Aki. Like, it all started to go well. And then the mid game hit, and I have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that we're all over the place here. Just, like, what is going on?
OMG was so far ahead, and it felt like they had no idea how to push that advantage further. You know, like the moment when they start Baron, it looks like they're just committing. Then the TP channels, they back away. I'm like, oh, okay, OMG, they figured it out. And then Shanji TP's mid from top Tribe Rush. It's like, the TV advantage that you just got for yourself is now gone. Like, what? Why? Like, what was the point of the entire passage of play? Oh,
Mojo. That's why, Budge. Mojo.
That is not Mojo. That is not Mojo. That's anti-Mojo. That's Oddjob is what that is. Pure Oddjob.
It's you have matter and dark matter, antimatter, you know, all that kind of stuff. You've got Mojo and you've got your dark Mojo, your anti-Mojo. That's what we've got going on. But I honestly, I don't know what to say. Like that. I mean, OMG's early game was a positive. And from that point forward, I don't really know what to say because it's just been such a disaster of a mid game. And none of it, like, you have plenty of ways to try and push the game forward. Here's OMG, where you put Shyvana side lane. She can do relatively well. Creme plays sides. Can have a ton of threat, especially if you've got control of the map, where Aki can link up with Creme, look for a play against Haichao, who you assume is going to be pushing against Creme. Or Creme pushes in on the bottom side of the map and then rotates the mid, so now you got a numbers advantage in mid. And like there's ways that you can try and play the map in the mid game, but that was not what we saw at all. OMG kind of late on resets, not setting up for objectives well. Their team fighting looks super messy, and the only reason I felt like they really won that game was because Abel was huge, got a massive crit off at the end of that fight, and then just shot themselves on the walls. Like, look, I am either winning this game solo here, or I am losing this game hard. But Haichao's in base, JinJiao is engaged for some reason. Yep. This is my moment to take this game.
Look, I respect the gusto of the final play. They certainly did press their buttons and go in. But I'm not entirely sure it was the correct decision-making process. Like, the thing is, it was all for Dragon Soul, right? But in the grand scheme of things, I would say losing Dragon Soul is probably slightly better than losing the entire game, for me at least. Maybe that's too subjective. Maybe that's just an opinion. But all I'm saying is, Dragon Soul doesn't do much for you if you're dead. So at the end of the day, it is going to be OMG taking it. LGD with some questionable decisions being made throughout, but OMG similarly so. OMG looked really clean in game number 1. Game number 2, without that crazy lead, it felt more difficult to achieve.
It does feel a little bit like LGD are trying to play an old meta though. Like, you see the Jinx priority in both games here where you're giving over the Zeri. And yes, we've got some late game scaling coming through, but I think Jinx is kind of a symbol of a meta past. I don't think she's as strong anymore at the moment. And Assum had a good game the last time against TT, but not working out in either game here. Zeri, absolute monster in both games. You can see nearly 30% of the team's damage. KDA was monstrous for Abel in both games as well. I feel like LGD are kind of going, okay, well, maybe we just go for the entire late game and, you know, scale into infinity, but you need something to get you to that point. And unfortunately on LGD's side, like, you've got Shadow on a Wukong,